Have you ever met someone who stays calm no matter what happens? No matter how loud the room gets, how intense the argument becomes, they remain silent, almost peaceful. What? Is it confidence? Is it wisdom? Or is there something deeper, something most people don't see? Because being calm is not always about having a peaceful life. Sometimes it comes from years of watching people, understanding emotions, and learning that reacting to everything only gives chaos more power. Calm people don't rush to speak. They don't fight every battle. And they don't waste energy proving themselves. Instead, they observe. They listen. And when the world becomes louder, they become quieter. But here is the strange part. The calmest people in the room are often the ones who understand everything the most. So the real question is not why they are quiet. The real question is, what do calm people know that the rest of us don't? In this video, we will explore the psychology of people who are always calm and the hidden power behind their silence. Most people think calm people are simply relaxed, but that's not the truth. Calm people are not calm because life is easy for them. They are calm because, at some point in their life, they learned something important about human behavior. They learned that most reactions are emotional storms. Anger, frustration, shouting, proving a point. And storms only create more storms. So instead of reacting instantly, calm people pause. They watch. They listen to the tone in someone's voice. They notice the tension in the room. They see emotions rising before anyone else even realizes it. Because calm people are not trying to win every conversation. They are trying to understand it. While others are busy speaking, calm people are busy observing. They read body language. They notice hidden intentions. And slowly, quietly, they begin to understand something most people miss. That many arguments are not really about the problem. They are about ego, insecurity, and emotion. And when you see that clearly, you stop reacting to every spark. You stop feeding every fire. You simply step back, breathe, and let the storm pass. Because calm people know something powerful. The person who controls their reaction controls the situation. Most people believe that calm people are simply quiet, that they don't react because they have nothing to say. But the truth is very different. Calm people are often the ones who see the most. While others are speaking quickly, defending themselves, or trying to prove their point, calm people are doing something else. They're watching. They notice the small pauses in someone's voice. They see the uncomfortable smile that hides frustration. They feel the tension in the room before anyone even says a word. Because when you stop reacting immediately, your mind becomes clearer. And a clear mind sees things that emotional minds miss. Calm people understand that many people don't always say what they truly feel. Sometimes people speak from anger, sometimes from fear, and sometimes from insecurity. So instead of responding to every word, calm people try to understand the emotion behind the words. And that changes everything. Because when you understand emotions, you stop taking everything personally. You stop reacting to every accusation, every criticism, every loud voice. Instead, you begin to see the deeper story behind people's behavior. And this is the quiet power of calm people. They are not silent because they are weak. They are silent because they are observing a bigger picture that others cannot see. In real life, problems don't arrive quietly. They come with pressure, noise, opinions, and sometimes chaos. A sudden argument, bad news, a mistake at work, someone blaming you for something you didn't do. In moments like these, most people react instantly. Voices get louder, emotions rise. Small problems suddenly become bigger than they really are. But calm people respond differently. Not because their life is easier, but because they understand something important about reality. They know that panic does not solve problems. So when something difficult happens, they slow down instead of speeding up. They take a breath. They look at the situation as it is, not as their emotions want it to be. Calm people don't exaggerate every problem. They don't turn every mistake into a disaster. And they don't let one stressful moment destroy their whole day. Instead, they focus on what can actually be controlled. For example, when others start blaming each other in a stressful situation, calm people step back and think, what is the real issue here? When others complain about how unfair life is, calm people quietly ask themselves, what is the next step I can take? This doesn't mean calm people never feel stress. They do. They feel pressure, disappointment, even anger. But the difference is, they don't let those emotions take control of their actions. Because calm people understand a powerful truth about life. Real strength is not about reacting faster. Real strength is about staying steady when everything around you becomes unstable. And this is where the real difference begins. Because staying calm in difficult moments is not luck. It is discipline. Most people react emotionally because their mind moves faster than their awareness. A word hurts them, and they respond immediately. Someone criticizes them, and they defend themselves instantly. But calm people have trained themselves to create a small pause. Just a moment. A moment where they stop before reacting. And that small pause changes everything. Because in that pause, they ask themselves a quiet question. Is this reaction really necessary? Many times, the answer is no. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every argument deserves your energy. And not every situation deserves your emotion. Calm people understand that reacting to everything slowly drains your mind. So they choose carefully. They choose when to speak. They choose when to stay silent. And sometimes, they choose to simply walk away. This is not weakness. In fact, it is one of the strongest forms of self-control. Because controlling others is difficult. But controlling your own reaction is even harder. And calm people know something powerful. The moment you stop letting other people control your emotions, you quietly take back control of your life. One of the biggest differences between calm people and everyone else is how they choose their battles. Most people feel the need to react to everything. A small criticism, a negative comment, someone questioning their opinion. Immediately, they defend themselves. They argue. They explain. They try to prove that they are right. But calm people slowly realize something about life. Not every battle is worth fighting. Because many arguments are not really about truth. They are about ego. Someone wants to feel superior. Someone wants attention. Someone simply wants to win the moment. And when you step into every argument, you unknowingly give your time and energy to people who may not even be searching for understanding. Calm people notice this pattern. So instead of reacting to every challenge, they step back and ask themselves a quiet question. Is this conversation going to solve something, or is it just going to create more noise? If the answer is noise, they remain silent. Not because they are afraid to speak, but because they understand something deeper. Every reaction costs energy. Every unnecessary argument takes a piece of your peace. And calm people protect that peace very carefully. You might see them listening quietly while others argue loudly. You might see them nod instead of starting a debate. And sometimes, you might even see them smile and walk away. At first, people may think they are avoiding the conflict. But in reality, they are doing something far more intelligent. They are choosing where their energy truly matters. Because calm people understand a powerful truth about life. Winning every argument does not make you stronger. Knowing which arguments are not worth your time does. There is another reason why calm people stay quiet during conflict. Because over time, they begin to recognize something many people miss. Manipulation. In everyday life, not every argument is honest. Sometimes people raise their voices not because they are right, but because they want to control the situation. Sometimes someone blames others quickly, just to avoid responsibility. And sometimes people try to provoke a reaction. Because once you react emotionally, they gain the advantage. Most people fall into this trap without even realizing it. A harsh comment is thrown at them, and they immediately defend themselves. An accusation appears, and suddenly the conversation becomes a heated battle. But calm people approach these moments differently. Instead of reacting instantly, they observe the pattern. They notice when someone changes the topic to avoid the truth. They notice when someone exaggerates emotions to gain sympathy. They notice when someone tries to push their buttons, just to make them lose control. And when you begin to see these patterns clearly, something interesting happens. You stop reacting the way manipulators expect you to. Because manipulation only works when emotions take control. But when someone remains calm, the manipulation slowly loses its power. This is why calm people often stay silent during tense moments. They are not confused. They are not intimidated. They are simply watching carefully. Sometimes they wait for the right moment to speak. Sometimes they calmly redirect the conversation, and sometimes they say nothing at all, because they understand a powerful psychological truth. The moment you refuse to react emotionally, the person trying to control the situation loses their control over you. And this quiet awareness becomes a form of strength. A strength that does not need loud words. A strength that simply comes from seeing clearly while others are lost in emotion. Another reason calm people appear so mysterious is because they don't reveal everything about themselves. In a world where most people speak quickly, share quickly, and react quickly, calm people move differently. They understand that not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every feeling needs to be shown. And not every person needs to know your entire story. Most people open themselves too quickly. They share their plans, their fears, their frustrations, sometimes even with people who barely understand them. And later, they realize something painful. Not everyone listens with good intentions. Some people listen to judge. Some listen to compare. And some listen simply to use that information later. Calm people learn this lesson slowly, often through experience. Maybe they trusted the wrong person once. Maybe they spoke honestly and their words were misunderstood. Or maybe they realized that the more they explained themselves, the less people truly listened. So over time, they changed their approach. They began to speak less and observe more. Not because they are hiding something, but because they understand that silence can protect your peace. When you reveal everything about yourself, you give people access to your emotions. But when you stay calm and measured, you keep a certain inner space that belongs only to you. And this inner space becomes powerful. Because calm people don't feel the need to constantly prove who they are. They don't need everyone to understand them. They don't need every opinion to be corrected. Instead, they allow people to think whatever they want, while they quietly focus on what truly matters in their own life. And this is why calm people sometimes appear distant or mysterious. But in reality, they are simply protecting something valuable. Their mental peace, their emotional balance, and their energy. Because calm people understand a deep truth about life. The less you try to explain yourself to everyone, the more control you keep over your own mind. Have you ever noticed how calm people move through a room full of chaos, yet remain untouched? It's not luck. It's not indifference. It's a choice. Calm people understand something most don't. Energy is contagious, but so is stillness. When others argue, panic, or exaggerate, the calm ones don't jump in. They don't feel the need to match the noise. They observe. They assess. They measure. In social pressure, manipulation, or even subtle control, they see the patterns clearly. They notice who's pushing, who's pretending, and who's feeding off fear. And they stay quiet not because they don't care, but because reacting in the same tone would only trap them in someone else's storm. Real life gives them countless lessons. Perhaps a colleague tried to provoke them, or a friend twisted words to gain advantage. Instead of reacting impulsively, calm people pause. They weigh words carefully. They choose silence over immediate defense, and observation over judgment. This doesn't make them weak. It makes them strategically strong. Because every moment they resist reacting to chaos, they conserve energy, they maintain clarity, and they protect their emotional space. They've learned that most battles aren't theirs to fight. Some conflicts are best watched from a distance, not lived from the center. And in doing so, they gain an almost invisible power. People may underestimate them. Yet those who observe closely notice a quiet confidence, a presence that doesn't falter under pressure. Calm people don't need to control everything. They just ensure their mind, their focus, and their peace remain untouched, even when the world demands otherwise. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to stay completely calm when the world is falling apart around you? Calm people don't become immune to chaos. They feel tension, confusion, and pressure just like anyone else. The difference is how they respond. While most react to noise with noise, anxiety with anxiety, they pause. They take a deep breath, feel the storm, and allow it to exist without letting it define them. In real life, this shows in small ways. A friend yelling across a table, a project spiraling out of control, an unexpected confrontation. Where others might snap, argue, or overcompensate, calm people choose observation. They notice intentions, patterns, and emotions, not just the surface noise. This isn't passivity. It's strategy born from understanding. They know that reacting too quickly often escalates the storm, while measured presence shapes outcomes subtly. And every time they withstand chaos without losing themselves, something extraordinary happens. Their inner strength grows. Their focus sharpens. Their presence becomes magnetic, not because they dominate, but because they anchor the environment. Others may mistake calm for indifference, yet it is the deepest form of power without aggression. They become masters of themselves first, before the world tries to master them. Calm people teach us that strength isn't loud. It's the quiet voice that resists panic, the steady hand in turmoil, the mind that observes rather than reacts. And as they move through life like this, a subtle truth emerges. Not every battle requires engagement, not every conflict demands attention, and not every chaos needs to be fixed. Some storms are meant to pass around you, not through you. And in learning this, calm people gain what many spend a lifetime chasing: clarity, resilience, and an unshakable inner power. They have become not just observers of life, but its quiet masters. This is the strength of the always calm. Have you noticed how the quietest people often leave the deepest impact? The ones who never raise their voice, who never rush to prove themselves. They move through life like water. Calm, steady, unyielding. They don't need validation. They don't need applause. Their strength is not in being seen, but in being present. In a world obsessed with noise, chaos, and constant reaction, choosing calm is a rebellion. Choosing stillness over urgency. Choosing clarity over confusion. And as they walk away from conflicts, as they watch the storms pass without being swept away, they teach a lesson few understand. Power doesn't roar, it whispers. It lives in the pauses, in the choices to stay composed, in the courage to feel deeply without losing control. So the next time you rush, panic, or feel overwhelmed, remember them. The always calm. Not broken by chaos. Not defined by others. Walking steadily through life, with inner mastery, quiet strength, and a soul unshaken. Fade slowly into silence.